delegate of the US and UK, you have been recognized in that order.
This delegate is wishing to take notes of any organizations that may be included.
Have been made in Panem. There are far more to come. BD is skilled with electronics and wiring and was one of the Hunger Games' sharpest tributes and was essential in Capital's downfall.
Consent or agreement to produce a legal obligation for an advantage for all countries related. In the sense of that Sino-Indian territory dispute is
the DPRK believes that only things that are natural in this world should have rights, such as animals, humans.
2,000 victims within 19 years of the International Organization for Migration Ukraine counter-trafficking program.
Groups such as the UN peacekeepers exist to maintain the peace between these two linguistic groups. And lastly, in order for any of these aforementioned solutions to be implemented, the government of Cameroon should have connections to other member states and the UN in order to have it.
Under the chair's discretion, this motion has been passed since this is the third first motion on the floor.
There's no information on.
There's no information about Matthew. Wait, is Matthew Layforth
Yes.
even a person in Harry Potter?
Maybe it's a fake name. Maybe it's his fake non-death
He's an
name.
Elias.
It's a Death Eater infiltrated into the Ministry of Magic under a fake name.
Are you Bellatrix?
Yeah. Oh my God, are you Bellatrix?
Bellatrix.
Thank you for your speech, Delegate. However, the Klingon Empire would like to clarify that even though the Roman Star Empire is advocating for peace, does the delegate realize that the majority of the clauses inside a resolution go against the very core beliefs of the Klingon Empire?
Thank you, Delegate. Roman Star Empire, you may respond.
I'm sorry about that, Klingon Empire, but this problem is caused by a lack of communication between the two sides of the conference. If the United Earth Roman Star Empire and the Malaysian Union as well as the Klingon Empire can come together and reach an agreement, we can definitely find out a way that will benefit all four of us. Thank you.
Delegates, the recent report by the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development showed the destruction of income on an unprecedented scale, an estimated 5.8 trillion USD, and with already vulnerable parts of the population bearing the brunt. In accordance, the United Nations provided an economic response.
Dear Delegate of China, the delegation would like to ask the delegate if the delegate is only wanting for bilateral agreements, as previously mentioned a little bit by India, or is China open to?
Then delegates can converse with each other and make sure to, get rid of any overlaps when trying to form a cohesive solution.
Richard? What is this piano?
I don't know, it's just a lounge, so, if someone wants to play it, they can play it.
What happens if I push it?
I think you can click on X and play the piano.
Like the marimba.
Facilitated between the Daily Prophet and the Ministry of Magic Office of Misinformation to ensure that these accusations don't appear again. And
Delegate of Arthur Weasley, you have been recognized.
Alright, so fellow wizards, responding to Williams's point about waiting for more crisis updates, we cannot sustain more crisis updates as if full-scale Death Eater attack on the ministry will crumble currently with the ministry separated by those Order of Phoenix gangs and those questionable people that has been with the ministry all along during both its infiltration days.
Honorable members of Ministry of Magic, I think the priority of this is punishing the first, because they should be punished for their crimes, and that's the start of forming a government. And to do that, I think there should be a reformation in Singamat, where they should be a separate department from
these solutions that are being offered. And we'll call upon the committee to focus back on the tasks that we are given, to work for peace, more specifically with relation to the proxy wars that are happening all around local regions.
About this resolution from here, I would suggest that try to first add specificity, more unique resolutions for this problem, because so far a lot of these clauses are generic. It's pretty like
regulations to subject state responsibility and accountability in actions regarding basic human security under the International Humanitarian Law (IHL), Geneva Convention of 1949, and all relevant international frameworks in regards to.
I would also like to call upon the attention of Madam. Wait, what's her name again? The mother of the Madam Edgecombe.
The delegate has opened herself up to any of information. The delegates of India, Brazil, and China, you have been recognized in that order.
Thank you for your space, delegate. So this agrees with removing the last of the clause.
Use any sort of harm against the government's rights or the national sovereignty of the Cameroonian government, as well as encouraging and supporting the Cameroonian government so that the Anglophones and Francophones both have equal representation in the government, and they have.
Delegate of Belarus, delegate of Bangladesh have been recognized in that order.
Thank you, Speech. However, the delegate would like to ask the delegate of India whether he really believes in clause 5b, I and III, whether he really believes that by putting up posters and creating flyers, it will really help to raise awareness, when in reality, not many people will care about it.
And this delegate believes that UN agencies that this resolution will create will have no problem of maintaining neutrality and ensuring zero corruption as mentioned in clause 5.
Delegate. Yes, please return to the primary session room.
Fact, you guys are kind of like the minority. Like, the only ginger I know is Ed Sheeran from the Muggle world. Yeah. So, so gingers, if you really are innocent, please take the truth serum so we can back your.
Just to let you know, Kingsley is not like a second Fudge or like a second whatever corrupt minister there was in the past.
Adding on, I think everybody is wait.
Yeah, sure.
Adding on, I think everybody is like forgetting that Kingsley Shacklebolt was also part of the order, which doesn't make sense for Arthur to want to get rid of him. He was actually a part of the order.
If you look at the public directive, he's still the Ministry of Magic. The problem is the people below him he can't trust.
Fellow delegates, fellow witches and wizards, I would like to deliver several important key points in this speech. So, I would recommend all of you to remember what happened to Professor Quirrell. He was also the professor and skilled at the dark arts in Hogwarts. But just because he holds a respectful position at Hogwarts does not mean that he was a credible person, as it turned out in the events later on.
The delegate of Cambodia does not doubt that this resolution as a whole will provide safe learning environment for both adults and children located in fragile environments or refugee camps around the globe. However, there's just one concern that this delegate holds, and that is operative clause number 3.
Well, thank you, delegate of Russia, for the resolution and the speech. This delegate of Russia should not agree on the fact that clause 1, the reformation of COVAX, this resolution is in its own way a flawless solution to the collaboration of every member nation in this committee.
This delegate believes that the juvenile education should be required, as juveniles should be required to achieve a certain level of education.
The committee will do a revote now. All delegates for this motion, please raise your placards high.
Being all the possible delegates for the new Prime Minister, I also recommend Fleet Week. Well, more specifically, I disagree with having Weasley nor Lacework as the new Prime Minister. Even though we are not discussing the current crisis update right now, we cannot forget that Weasley has simply said he hasn't been to the Muggle world, but nothing else.
Oh, hey, are you guys getting used to this platform?
My memory is so laggy.
With 8 delegates for and 6 delegates against, this vote passes. Can the delegate of Poland please read out the full content of their public directive?
Yes.
So whether you won awards or you didn't, I hope that in one way or another, this was a learning experience. But even more importantly, I hope you met some new people. Hopefully you made some new friends. The international circuit's very small. I'm sure your guys' paths will cross again sometime in the future through sports or when you go to college. I'm sure you might meet each other. Keep in contact with each other. Cherish these connections you were able to make. Here at No Borders, we're really happy that you guys came out to be delegates, and we look forward for you guys to joining us again next year. That's it from me. Have a nice day.